Way back when in Babylon, in the days of yester, there lived a Jewish Shushan girl by the name of Esther. At first she seemed like any ordinary Yiddish festa, so if I asked you who our hero is, you never would have guessed her. But she really made the most of the brains and beauty with which God blessed her. So when the king asked for the prettiest girl, nobody could contest her. With his men she had to go, or else they would arrest her, and they took her to the palace where they kept her in sequester, and not just for a week or two, but for a whole semester. That was the rule for all new girls, in case they had to uninfest her. There they plied her with cosmetics, and in finery they dressed her. We're talking silk and satin here, not cheap old polyester, until they saw a star is born, just like Vicky Lester. But Mordecai, her uncle, didn't like being an empty nester, so he sat outside the palace gate in sackcloth, which distressed her. Although he could not visit her, through her servants he accessed her, and he told her about Haman, a wicked Zoroaster. We may laugh at him today, but believe me, then he was no jester. He was so mean he always needed somebody to pester, so he picked upon the Jews, and he allowed his hate to fester. But when she heard he planned to kill us all, it totally depressed her. But still, she wasn't ready to be a political protester, because she wasn't allowed to see the king unless first he did request her. But Mordecai was wise, so he finagled and finessed her, and when he said that's why God put her there, as a way to test her, she realized he was right, because his reasoning impressed her. Once she set her mind to see the king, no one could have repressed her. So she asked the Jews to fast, and all the people acquiesced her. Then she knew she could not fail with all that love that they expressed her. So in she marched, just like Tweety Bird, walking right up to Sylvester. When the king saw her approach, he wondered what could have possessed her. But he extended out a scepter just as if he had caressed her, and he said with half his kingdom, if she asked, he would invest her. But she just asked to be the hostess with the mostess, like Pearl Mester. And she invited the king and Haman to a banquet, and they said yes to her. They still didn't know she was Jewish, or else Haman would detest her. But after the meal she did reveal how Haman had oppressed her, and the king became enraged when he saw him actually molest her. So he sent him to the gallows for a permanent siesta. And he allowed the Jews to arm themselves to avert the threat that stressed her. And that's how the Jews were saved, and we owe all of our success to her, because then the temple was rebuilt due to this illustrious ancestor. So every year we celebrate from the Euphrates to Westchester, this happiest of holidays, the great Purim fiesta, to praise Hashem and thank his servants, Mordecai and Esther.